How's everyone doing today? Guys, the weather is awesome. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Firewood weather. This reminds me of summer in Ohio, the way it's supposed to be. Mid-70s, low humidity, overcast skies. You can get a lot of work done, and I have. We've made a lot of firewood this week. The pile's getting lower. I got the live deck loaded up, ready for the next run with the machine. And I also got, I got the huge pile of rounds here in front of the axis. It had been too hot to run this thing, but now it's starting to cool off, and I think I can now get these split and get the wood dumped into the trailer. So, ooh, oh, I got to show you guys something. This has been something that I've been losing sleep over here at Ohio Wood Burner. And I've been, you know how I am. I don't like spending money at all. What I've learned over time is I manage the business by that gut feeling, not as much as dollars and cents, but I think what really needs to get done. And the one thing that has been keeping me up at night is the trailer, because I have that one dump trailer. And, but man, the new ones are pricey. But, I started looking around and I ran across a decent deal, and here it is. Guys, I bought a new dump trailer. This is a Moritz 10-footer, and I set it right next to my original dump trailer. This is a Griffin. This is a 10-footer also. Excellent trailer, but I've talked about the problem with the paint, but that's not the big issue here. The issue is for production, because when you look at all of this firewood around here, guys, the production standard is the firewood never touches the ground. So everything that we make goes into the trailer, and the dump trailer is like a big wheelbarrow for us. The problem that I have is I have 2 restaurants that buy full cords. So the trailer is used to deliver. Well, when you work by yourself, I'll load this up in the evening and deliver it the following day. When that trailer's loaded, all my production comes to a halt. I buy a lot of firewood. I'm always going up and down the road. I have 2 main people that produce firewood for me, and I will load the trailer and I bring it down here. When this trailer's full, I can't make firewood, and here that makes a lot of sense then to have this second trailer. This has been a bottleneck for me, and I think I've solved it now with the second trailer. And it's tough buying this kind of stuff right now because prices are really high, inventory is really low. And I stumbled upon this at a local dealer, and I just went ahead and bought it. I wouldn't call it a spontaneous purchase, but it was a purchase nonetheless. This is just something that we had to have. The second thing too, this is starting to get a little older. I bought this in I think January of 2018, and it's got a lot of use. And it still has a lot more use, but you know how it is. When some things get old, it's waiting to break something. And then having a backup really makes a lot of sense. But, parking these next to each other, you can see, and I'm going to show you guys, and I'm not an expert with trailers at all, but I have learned some things, and I'm able to talk about, the role that they play for me, for the company, and the value that they bring. The first thing that I noticed about the Moritz, well, let me just say this. Let me just say this first, though. You know how like everything has, there's economy versions, and then there's, luxury versions, or, good, better, best. So the Griffin is a very good trailer, but it's kind of, an economy trailer. It's got a lot of features that aren't, something that you wouldn't find on a more expensive trailer. The Moritz, guys, this is top shelf. It is. I think if you had any discussion, and there's a lot of really good trailers out there, if you had any discussion about these trailers, the Moritz is going to be included with that. They're very, very well built. Made in Ohio too, Mansfield, Ohio. So that's exciting to know that an Ohio company is supporting an Ohio company as well. The biggest difference that I see though, guys, with the Moritz is that it is built on an I-beam frame. All right, and the big deal, at least the way I see it, you know, the Griffin is built on a box frame. The difference that I see is here in Ohio, with all the salt on the road, you know, the road salt can get up into the box and then it's going to start rusting from the inside out. With the I-beam, I think maybe you could argue it's stronger, but you know, you can also pressure wash that off, huh? I bought the tarp kit so that I can cover my loads so that I'm not losing logs going down the highway. To put the boards on, those still must be installed. That will allow me to fit a full cord in. It's got a combination gate. It's a spreader and it's the barn door style. And these are pretty cool because they are held back with a spring-loaded clasp. And you know, you need to get these pushed out of the way when you're dumping onto the ground. It's got aluminum ramps, and all of the lights are LED lights. You know, those are like, you know, that's an upgrade where, you know, the Griffin, those are all incandescents. So let's go ahead and put this up in the air. I'll show you what it looks like underneath. It's got a nice toolbox. The battery and the hydraulic pump are underneath. So to put it up in the air, you just push this button. And here's the view from underneath. The Moritz has a single ram. I think they said this is 3-inch or 3.5-inch. And it is pushing off of these two tubes here. They have one welded on top of each other. So that looks to be pretty stout, you know, to be pushing off of it. I think that's going to be okay. It appears 16-inch on center framework down. And then the big difference between this trailer and the Griffin is that this has torsion axles on it. There's no leaf springs like the Griffin has. The Griffin, you can see the leaf springs there. All right. Torsion axles are an upgrade. So these, you know, the torsion is inside of the axle. And I had noticed right away pulling this down the road, like the Griffin, when it's empty, when you hit bumps, I mean, it'll bounce up in the air, you know, all four wheels are coming off the ground. This seemed to be much less bouncy. I have no experience with torsion, but I was told that what's really slick about these, if you do have a flat tire, you could, you know, with an empty load, ride home with take the whole wheel off. It'll stay up. The downside with torsion, though, I understand, is if they go bad, which is rare, you got to replace the whole axle, which can get expensive. So this has got it's a 2 5/16 coupler, and it's got the breakaway. I like it, guys. I think it's a great looking trailer. I understand too that the Moritz has a much better paint than the powder coating that was on the Griffin. You know, this Griffin, I had it on the road probably 6 times in its first winter, and I didn't know what I was getting into, but man, all the paint came off of this thing, and it just looks terrible. I have been told, you know, that the Moritz paint job is much better, and it's going to last a lot longer. But now I know, you know, what I'm going to be doing. I'm probably, like here with these seams, I'll probably just shoot these with oil or maybe even undercoating. Maybe if you guys have some experience here, let me know. I could, you know, take better care of this one than what I got into trouble with this, with the rust. I still think, now having the 2 trailers, I could still just pull this one during bad weather and leave this one in the yard for production. So this one is going to be all production. It's just going to be moving firewood from the places up the road that make it for me. And I really don't deliver full cords to the customer. We just do small quantities. I think growing as a company too, when I first started doing this, I didn't know what I was getting into. I had an idea what I wanted to do, but the volume that I needed to make enough money, to keep the house, keep gas in the gas tank, food on the table, I didn't have enough machines to get me there. Does that make sense? And now, I see that having one trailer is a huge deal. I mean, this is a majorly productive piece of equipment. But now I see, the need to have two. Like, the biggest thing that really worried me the most was when I had one truck. That was tough because, man, if your truck breaks down, you're sunk, So 2 trucks, I felt better. Now with 2 trailers, I'm starting to feel a lot better too. I just think that this puts us in a much better spot. We are now a more productive company, and I can sleep at night knowing that if this trailer goes south on me, I won't be totally out to dry. The thing too, with the way that these have gotten pretty expensive, the inventory is really low on them, and they're hard to find. So the fact that this one was sitting there, it just came in off the semi at this at the dealer, so it was just an easy choice. The thing that I hesitated on, believe it or not, though, was the color. And really, color shouldn't mean anything, but in this case, what I learned with paint, with the Griffin, with black paint, you get a can of black spray paint and you can touch it up. And this is, gray, and what is there, 50 shades of gray or something, and that might be harder for me to keep it, touch up the chips and stuff, to keep it from rusting. But I think the plan going forward is going to be, if the roads are salty, if it's winter time, I'll just use the Griffin, and this will stay in the yard. But right now, when we're moving all this firewood down from these producers I have up north, I mean, this thing's on the road all the time, and it just makes my life now a lot easier, because I would, remember, this is just me here. I would take this trailer up north, I would get it loaded, I would bring it down here, and I would stack the wood right off the tailgate. After I've done that, I don't feel like going up for a second load and coming back. I just don't. Now that I have 2, I could leave the one loaded and then just hitch this trailer up and go bring me home another load, and then I can stack them both the next morning. That is just something that I can get done. And I think it just made a lot of sense. So I'm glad to see the new trailer here. And my lesson that I had learned was, I went with a higher end trailer. It just seemed easier now for me to spend more money for a quality machine, and with this paint too. And that paint, this trailer with better paint, I may not have been in this position. So that's where I'm saying, if this costs more money than a budget dump trailer, I'm thinking I'm going to get it back. One thing for sure though, guys, you're going to be seeing a lot of the trailer in my videos, because I use it all the time. It's going to be setting underneath the outfeed of the Japa or the Eastonmade axis, or we're going to be moving firewood down the road with it. So I will let you know how this thing goes in the coming days and weeks and months and hopefully years. And I'll let you know, what I think about it. But what I think about it right now is I think it is awesome. I think it looks great, man. All right, so if you are liking the Moritz 10-foot heavy commercial dump trailer, give me a thumbs up, please. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We post videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And I hope that everyone has a great day.